Hello guys, it's me. Did you miss me? I'm back. Okay, so this is just going to be a get ready with me kind of video where I show you what kind of makeup I'm doing at college. And this is probably gonna be a pretty quick, like 15-minute video because my makeup in college is pretty quick, I would say. I'm just gonna pull back my hair. I hate putting on makeup and getting ready with hair in my face. I don't know how beauty gurus do it because like I literally can't deal with it. Let's just get started. I have these little cute Glossier clips that I bought for Black Friday. I usually do like a Black Friday haul video, but I just didn't have time this year and I also forgot what I bought now. Whenever I have time, I go in with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This is like my third tub, so it's pretty safe to say that I love this stuff, and this is the only primer I basically use. I don't really care for primer, but I love that so much where like I will purposely buy it to use it. But I'm not gonna use it today because I'm too lazy. So whenever I don't put on primer, I usually just go in with my Glossier Stretch Concealer. It kind of looks crusty right now because it's pretty hot upstairs, so it's kind of melting the product a little bit, but it's still safe to use, you know, it's not like it's contaminated or something like that. So I'm just gonna first put this on my acne spots where I want to cover up, and I have a lot to cover up. I don't really care to put like concealer on my nose or anything like that. I just don't see the point, and my nose tend to get pretty dry and crusty, so if I put any product on my nose, majority of the time it looks bad anyways. But I like to blend out my forehead first with the concealer because I don't really care for my forehead, and the majority of times I don't put a lot of products on my forehead anyways, just a little bit of concealer to kind of bring in like the same color from like the rest of my face on here, because I do tend to put a lot of concealer on my cheeks because I have like a lot of hyperpigmentation, so I feel like it looks a little bit weird if I don't have any product on my forehead. I know people say like to leave product off from your forehead because it looks a lot more natural, but for me, I think it looks a little bit just jarring if like my cheeks are a different color than my forehead, you know. I'm just gonna put a little bit of the Soft Lips Natural Maruca Honey Lip Balm on because my lips right now are so chapped. There was a great set in like Hy-Vee a couple weeks ago. I don't know if they still have it, but there was like a set with e.l.f. skincare sets in there, like a Lumify eye drops, this lip balm, like a cleanser, and and some hair clips. I think that's it. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna blend out my under eyes. I'm gonna leave this spot where I put like the concealer on my cheeks there because that's where my hyperpigmentation is, so I want to let the concealer dry a little bit so it will just like give me a little bit more coverage. But anyways, I was saying with the Hy-Vee stuff, it is a great set and I use that so much. I use the e.l.f. thing as like a traveling skincare set, so I don't have to bring all of my skincare back home with me because I do tend to move back from college and here to my like actual home a lot. And then I haven't used like the claw clip set yet, but I know I will because it's so cute. And then I have the lip balm, of course. I use like that set is like so helpful. I love that set so much. But anyways, back to my makeup. For eyebrows, I've just been using my eyeshadow where I mix these two colors, mainly this one. I dip into this one maybe like twice to get some of that black to make it kind of like a grayish tone because my eyebrow hairs are pretty cool toned. I like to go in with this eyeshadow palette because it's pretty pigmented, so that allows me to use less of my eyebrow pencil. because I hate buying eyebrow pencil, and I'm pretty sure I will probably never go through this. If I do, it'll probably be like years from now, so I'm not too worried about it, whereas eyebrow pencils I do tend to go through a lot. And that's the main reason why I've been using this, and I kind of like the look that's been given me. I put the product mainly at the ends of my brows first because that's where it's most pigmented, and I like to pull my eyebrows more out than downwards, so it gives me more of like a stretched out effect, I guess you can say. Using my eyeshadow palette, I do tend to use these two the most. I don't really use this palette that much anymore. This used to be my like go-to palette for eyeshadow, but I don't really wear eyeshadow that much. So it helped me also to get a little bit more use on this palette, and I spent a lot of money on this palette, so I want to get my money's worth, you know? Alright, after I like kind of what the tails look like, I kind of use the residue to kind of fluff the inside. I just put this part flat against it and just rub, because it, like, the size of this is basically the size of my eyebrow, so I can kind of be a little messy with it. And because it's eyeshadow, I can remove it pretty easily, where I just use my fingers to kind of like scrape it off or something like that. So that's what my brows be looking like. All right, and then I like to use eyebrow gel. This is the NYX Brow Glue. I love this stuff. As you can tell, I'm almost out of it. But because it's like one of those squeezy tubes things, I like to squeeze the bottom because I am running pretty low on it to really coat the brush. And after the brush has been coated, I kind of go against the grain of my eyebrow to kind of really like ingrain the product into my eyebrows. I like to get like every ounce of the product that's on the brush off and onto my eyebrows to really like kind of coat it. I'm really looking for like a, when I run out of this, I don't want to rebuy this right away. To be honest, I love this stuff, but I love trying out new makeup. So if you guys have any like affordable eyebrow gel, clear eyebrow gel recommendations, please tell me, because I would love to try those out. I have only recently gone back into liking clear brow gels because I used to use like tinted brow gels, but I found that clear brow gels makes my brows look more natural with my current brow routine. And it also doesn't change the color of like my brow pencil or like that eyeshadow thing, because I found that my whole brow pigment routine, I guess you can say, is like my perfect shade for my eyebrows. So I don't want to mess that up by putting like a tinted brow product on. So I'm gonna let the brows set. Sometimes I will do liner if I have the time and if I want to be honest, because liner can, depending on the day, take a long time if I mess it up. But I have the time. I'm gonna go in with this Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner. It's the micro tip version. This is new. I just got it. So look how skinny that one is. That's mainly why I bought this thing, because the tip is like so skinny, and I love a skinny tip. But how I do my eyeliner is I like to follow like my natural eye shape and just kind of pull it down and out, I guess you can say. I don't really care for a cat eye. So far I'm like really liking this. I love the tip on that. You see how, don't look at my face. My face is very textured. Don't look at it. But I love it. I'm used to kind of a longer eyeliner tip than this, but that's just a little bit of a learning curve for me, but I don't really mind. So I'm happy with the liner. I can't really talk or like describe how I do my liner, but I just kind of like pull it out first. I have my eyes open, then I pull the liner out, and then I kind of like fill it in. I only in my liner halfway through. I don't like going all the way in because I find it closes off my eyes. I don't want that. Okay, now that my brows have dried, I'm gonna go in with this Loreal Brow Stylist Definer in dark brunette. I was using the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, but the one I got was kind of broken, so I used it up a lot faster than I wanted. But that one was also like a perfect match for my eyebrow color because it was a gray tone, and I was kind of scared to like get the gray one because I was like, what if it's like gray and makes me look like a corpse? But it literally did not. It was like the perfect color for my eyebrows. I felt like gray toned like brow pencils really are like the best color for me because I like my eyebrows. Oh, what the fuck? That happened to me the last time I tried to use it, but just like where like the product comes out. Oh well, it's not like it's like broken. I don't know. I've been having bad luck with brow pencils recently. I found where like every single freaking brow pencil I buy, it's like broken. I like my brows to be lighter than my actual hair color. My hair color is pretty dark. So if I have my brows the same color as my hair, I would just look very intense, and I don't want that. Like, I already kind of have like a resting bitch face, so I don't want people to be even more intimidated by me. Like, one of my friends said that when she saw me at a party, like, I didn't see her, but like she told me that she saw me and she was scared by me. So yeah, I don't want to come off even more scary than I already do, you know. Okay, now I have also let my eyeliner dry. I will kind of curl my lashes. I usually on a day-to-day basis in college don't really wear mascara anymore. I used to love mascara, but now I find like curling my lashes is enough. I feel like that's because the mascara I have right now is kind of waterproof, and I'm just too lazy to take off waterproof mascara. That's basically it. It's just purely out of laziness, where like at the end of the day I just really don't want to take off waterproof mascara. I usually have to touch up my eyeliner again after curling because I found that no matter what eyeliner I have, it will always smudge just a little bit where I curl my lashes. I usually don't do eyeshadow either because I just don't have the time. Okay, and now occasionally I will put on a little bit of bronzer on my forehead. That's the only place I really put bronzer anymore. This is the NYX Matte Bronzer in the shade Medium. This is pretty pigmented, so I don't really want to do too much. So I would just put on a light amount and just really try to blend it out on my forehead. After my bronzer on my forehead is done, I now blend out my concealer. I'm a little bit sick. I had like a 4-day fever, I think, so don't mind that. I'm still kind of recovering. Like, I got a fever the week before my finals, which is terrible timing because the week before my finals I had an OChem test that Thursday. So I got the fever on Tuesday, so that Tuesday I was like dead and didn't want to do any homework and stuff like that. And then like on Wednesday I had my fever got worse and it went up to like 102.5 or something like that. But I was like, no, I have a test. I have an OChem test on Thursday. I have to go to class. So I went to class with 102 fever. And then I studied with the fever at the library until like 12 a.m. I want to say, or maybe even longer than that. And then I on Thursday still had a residual fever of like maybe like it was getting better, but it was nowhere near as like, oh, normal like I wanted it. But I was like, well, have to suck it up because I got a test. So I went to my 8 p.m. OChem test, and I took it with a fever. But it's okay because I ended up getting like almost a perfect score. I got 98 point something, so I was like pretty happy with it. And then on Friday, I also still had like a residual fever because I feel like the fever only kept going because I just did not even like give myself a break this whole week. So I had the fever, and I had this club event that I paid to go to, so I was like, well, might as well just go. And it was like ice skating. So after I blend out that concealer, I like to use like a big fluffy brush to kind of blend it out, or like a dry sponge to kind of pick up the residue, or just use my fingers. I don't feel like using my fingers today, that's why I'm using a brush. That whole week it just kept going away and then coming back. I feel like it's because I kept taking pills, and so my fever got reduced, and then I will not rest, so my fever got back. And then on Saturday I still had like that's when my period started, so that was fun. The period started, and I had one of my friends' events that I had to go to that I wanted to support her in, so I was kind of like her date kind of. So I went to that, and the whole my period was so bad because it was the first day. My first day is always the worst because that's when my like cramps are like the worst that ever is. So I had cramps that whole night, so I had to take a lot of pain meds. And then originally we were gonna go to Johnny's, which is like a food slash bar place, and we're gonna go there to like hang out with some of like the other people in her like little sports team, but they were gone, so we had to change of plans. I decided to drop them off somewhere because I didn't want to go, and then I went to hang out with some of my friends, and then when they were ready I went to pick them up. So that was my week when I was sick. Anyways, I'm gonna go in with my Undone blush in the shade Rosewood. I love this blush. You can tell I hit like a massive pan in it. So I'm just gonna use my fingers to get like a little bit on there. And I think I usually change up the placement depending on how I feel. So today I'm gonna go like right there, and then a little bit there. It was a very eventful week. And then also, along with me having like a freaking fever, I also like a couple weeks before that, it was like Thanksgiving break, I made an appointment at my hospital area that we have on campus to have a tuberculosis screening. And whenever I went, I thought like, oh, it's gonna come back negative. Like, I took the same screening like last year and it was negative. There's no way I got it within like a year, you know. So I didn't have any worries. The main reason why I went to like get it is not because I thought I had it, is because I wanted to do the shadowing opportunity at like a hospital over summer break. And that was one of the requirements, was to have that screening, but my like screening had expired, so that's why I need to go and do a new one. So I didn't think I had it. But then the results came back, and it came back positive for tuberculosis antibodies, which means that I don't necessarily have it. It's just that I might have gotten exposed to it and my body produced antibodies to fight it off. So that was fun. So I had to get a chest x-ray where the doctors didn't tell me how much it was. So I was just going in blind, basically. And I got the results back and my lungs were clear, which means I probably don't have tuberculosis, which is, yay, a good thing. But then on the report, it said I have scoliosis. So I don't have tuberculosis, I have scoliosis. My body is going through it. And then during one of my days where I had a fever, I had a nosebleed. That was like the worst nosebleed I've probably ever gotten. It just kept coming out on one nose. And then that night, same thing happened where I got a freaking nosebleed, but instead of the same nose, it was the other nose. I got 2 nosebleeds in one night, in one day. excuse me, in one day. And my body is not okay. Okay, and I'm gonna set my face with this milk powder that I've been using for such a long time. I'm just gonna set like my T-zone, like my forehead, and then my nose. And I didn't put any product on my nose except for blush. And then the sides of my face. And then as well as my chin. Just like the T-zone, I guess you can say. But anyways, along with the freaking nose issue that I have, I had like this orange like liquid that was coming out of my nose. At first I was like, oh, maybe it was just like mucus, you know, snot. It was not any snot that I've ever had. Like, it was like bright orange. It was like this color coming out of my nose. It was just, I would just be doing normal things and I would just look down and it would just be stuff dripping out of my nose. I know this is kind of gross, but like, I was just like so concerned. I was like, what is going on? I was like, my body must be going through like fucking hell right now, because I've never had any of these stuff go on like at once, you know. So I was just like so confused, and I told my doctors about it whenever I went in for like a tuberculosis check-in. I'm going with my e.l.f. eyeshadow palette, going with this color and using it as like a blush topper, I guess you can say, just on top of that to give it a little bit more life on my face. But I told my doctor about it and she was like, yeah, I don't know what that could be. I was like, okay, great, I have no answers. And I told some of my friends about it. My friends were like, oh, maybe it's like cerebral fluid. What do you mean cerebral fluid? I don't, like, that's concerning. Like, I would be looking these up on Google. I know that's not a good thing to do, but like, I will be looking this stuff on Google and it's like, oh, you're dying. But you know, like, I'm not gonna trust that. Like, I think I'm perfectly healthy. Well, not really, because my eating habits are not the best. My makeup is looking a little bit cakey, but I feel like it's because my skin is very dry recently. So I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm gonna wipe off my lip balm that I have on. I'm gonna go with my lip combo that I've been really liking recently, which is these two. Kind of look the same, to be honest. They're both from Colourpop. This is the Blotted lip. I kind of forgot what shade it's in, but this is the color. That's all I have left. This has scrolled up all the way. So I put this color on my bottom lip. But yesterday, for some good news, I went to an interview for this pharmacy job. I didn't even know you could work at a pharmacy at like this young of an age, so I didn't even know that was an option. So I went in and did an interview. Oh, sorry, this is the Colourpop Give Me More Lip Crayon. I just put that on the top lip. So I put the other color on my bottom lip and I put this on my top lip. All I do is like rub it out and kind of blend the two together to give me my perfect shade, because the crayon is a little bit too light on my skin tone, but this is like a little bit too pigmented for like a daily day basis. So if I mix them together, it's my perfect shade. The sun is coming out, so excuse the lighting, but let me just scooch. But yeah, yesterday I had an interview at a pharmacy and I got it. Now I'm a pharmacist. Now I just have to go through like the legal like background checks and all of that, but that should be relatively okay, I feel. But yep, this is all the makeup that I do. So this is my normal everyday makeup look, and sometimes it's a little bit less, sometimes it's a little bit more, depending on how much time I have, but usually this is all. This came out to be a little bit longer than intended because I was talking. So if I wasn't talking, usually this takes me only like 15 minutes to do. So there you go. thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you whenever I come back. Goodbye.